The power of calm confidence, especially after 60. Have you ever walked into a room, said something perfectly reasonable, and then felt like you just disappeared into the wallpaper? It's a strange thing, isn't it? When we were younger, we could speak our mind, take charge of a situation, and people would listen. But now, as the years go by, there's this quiet shift, like the world assumes we've stepped off stage. We're expected to fade into the background. Smile politely. Keep the peace. But here's what I want you to know today. You haven't lost your voice. You haven't lost your power. And no matter your age, you are allowed to take up space, speak up, and be heard with calm confidence. Now, I'm not talking about puffing out your chest or raising your voice. That's not real confidence. Real confidence, the kind that makes people stop and truly listen, doesn't shout. It doesn't beg. It simply is. And believe it or not, that kind of presence becomes even more powerful after 60. Why? Because now, you've lived. You've seen life's beauty and its mess. You've made mistakes and survived them. You've learned what matters, and what doesn't. That kind of wisdom carries a natural gravity. You don't need to fight for respect, you simply need to remember that you deserve it. Let's talk about what calm confidence looks like, and how to bring more of it into your life, starting right where you are, right now. It begins with how you carry yourself. I'm not talking about posture alone, although standing tall helps. I'm talking about that inner knowing, that quiet steadiness in your body when you're not trying to prove anything. Think about someone you know, maybe a teacher you had, a neighbor, a mentor, who could walk into a room and instantly make everyone feel safe. They didn't need to talk much. Their calm energy said enough. That's what we're aiming for here. And one way to build that energy is by simply slowing down. We live in a noisy, rushed world. Everything screams for our attention: texts, news, social media, endless notifications. But calm confidence doesn't rush. It doesn't chase. It waits. It listens. It speaks after thinking. Next time someone says something that irritates you, or you're in a conversation that feels dismissive, try this. Pause. Take a slow breath. Look them in the eye. And then say what you need to say, clearly, simply, with zero apology in your tone. You'll be amazed at how powerful that can feel. You're not reacting. You're choosing your moment. And when you do that, people notice. They might not say it out loud, but trust me, they feel it. Now, the second piece of calm confidence is knowing that you don't have to explain yourself to everyone. This one's tough, especially if you're a natural caretaker, someone who's spent their life smoothing things over, making sure others feel comfortable. But here's the truth, not every decision you make needs to be approved by others. Not every no needs a reason. You're allowed to say, "I'm not available that day." Or, "That doesn't work for me," without a 3-paragraph explanation. You're not being rude. You're being clear. And clarity is kind. See, the older we get, the more important it is to protect our energy. We only get so much of it in a day. Giving it away to people pleasing, over-explaining, or trying to control how others see us. That's a recipe for exhaustion. So next time you're tempted to soften your truth or over-explain why you're setting a boundary, stop and ask yourself, would I expect someone else to do this for me? If the answer is no, then give yourself permission to keep it short and sweet. This doesn't mean becoming cold. In fact, calm confidence often comes with kindness. But it's a firm kind of kindness, the kind that doesn't bend itself out of shape to avoid discomfort. Think of it like this: you're not shrinking to keep the peace, you're standing tall to protect your peace. And finally, let's talk about one more habit that fuels this kind of quiet power: speaking from your values, not your fears. It's so easy, especially as we age, to second-guess ourselves. We worry we'll come off too harsh, too demanding, too much. But when you speak from your values, from what you know to be true in your bones, you can let go of all that noise. You're not trying to win an argument. You're not trying to be liked. You're simply choosing to be honest, to be present, and to be you. And let me tell you, there is nothing more powerful than that. So the next time you're in a situation where your voice feels small or you feel dismissed, pause. Breathe. And ask yourself, what really matters to me in this moment? What would I say if I wasn't afraid? Then say that calmly, gently, but without shrinking. That's the beginning of real confidence. Not the kind that needs applause, but the kind that makes you feel at home in your own skin. And the beautiful part? The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. Let's keep going. So now that you've begun to notice your own strength, that calm, steady presence that doesn't need permission, let's take it deeper. Because here's something that isn't said enough: confidence isn't something you perform for others. It's something you build within yourself, brick by brick, through the small, quiet choices you make every single day. One of those choices, and it might surprise you, is learning to embrace silence. Yes, silence. You see, many people fear those quiet moments in conversation. They feel awkward when there's a pause. So, they fill the space with chatter, with apologies, with explanations they don't owe. But calm confidence doesn't fear silence. It understands its power. Let's say you're talking to someone, and they question your choice, maybe how you spend your time, or a boundary you've set. The old habit might be to scramble into a justification. But what if instead, you just paused? Let their words hang in the air. Gave yourself space to breathe. Looked them gently in the eyes, and said something simple like, "That's just what feels right for me." Then you stop. You don't fill the silence. You don't try to win them over. You just let your words land. That kind of confidence makes people take notice. It doesn't push, but it doesn't budge either. It's quiet strength. And it grows every time you allow yourself to be still. Another way we deepen this confidence, especially after 60, is by rewriting the story we tell ourselves. And I want you to really hear this. If you keep telling yourself you're invisible, you'll start to move like someone who's invisible. If you keep saying, "I'm too old to be taken seriously," you'll start to believe it. But here's the truth: you're not invisible. You've simply been conditioned to feel that way by a world that puts youth on a pedestal and forgets the incredible power of lived experience. So let's rewrite the story. Instead of "I'm too old to matter," try, "I've earned the right to speak without apology." Instead of "No one wants to hear what I think," try, "What I've lived through gives me a voice worth hearing." And when those moments of doubt creep in, because they will, we're human, treat them like passing clouds. You don't chase them. You don't pretend they're not there. You just say, there's that old story again. And then you gently return to truth. Calm confidence doesn't mean never feeling afraid. It means feeling the fear and still choosing to show up. And speaking of showing up, let's talk about how you enter a room. This one might sound simple, but it's powerful. When you walk into a space, whether it's a family dinner, a doctor's office, a meeting at the community center, notice your body. Are your shoulders tense? Is your chin down? Are you already anticipating that you won't be heard? If so, stop. Take a breath. Lengthen your spine. Raise your chin just a little. And walk in as if you belong there, because you do. You're not there to prove yourself. You're there because your presence matters. The way you carry yourself teaches people how to treat you, and more importantly, it teaches you how to treat yourself. You'd be amazed how often the way we feel inside starts to change just by how we hold ourselves physically. It's not about pretending. It's about aligning your outer presence with your inner worth. Now, let's talk about something else that often steals confidence from people over 60, and that's being misunderstood or underestimated. Maybe someone calls you adorable when you're being serious. Maybe they speak slower to you, or ignore your opinion entirely in a group conversation. It's frustrating. It's painful. But here's what I want you to remember. You do not need anyone's permission to be taken seriously. Let them underestimate you. That's their loss. What matters is how you respond, and how you continue to hold yourself with dignity, no matter how others behave. And sometimes that means choosing not to engage in arguments, not because you're afraid, but because you've decided your peace is worth more than proving a point. That's not weakness. That's mastery. You get to decide what's worth your energy. And every time you choose calm over chaos, clarity over noise, you build more of that unshakable confidence we're talking about. It's not about being liked by everyone. It's about being true to yourself and trusting that's enough. And here's something else, calm confidence is contagious. When people see you choosing your words carefully, setting boundaries without drama, speaking from your values, it shifts the energy in the room. Others start to match that. They slow down. They listen more. They soften. And even if they don't, you still walk away proud of how you handled it. Because you didn't shrink. You didn't explode. You stood your ground with grace. That's a kind of power that doesn't need attention. It simply radiates. Let's keep going. Now that you've stepped into this space of calm confidence, not forced, not loud, just real, it's time to talk about what it means to carry that strength into your everyday life. Not just in conversations or when setting boundaries, but in how you live, love, and take care of yourself. Because confidence isn't just how you speak. It's how you honor yourself when no one's watching. It's in the way you make choices that align with your values, even if they confuse or disappoint others. It's in how you allow yourself to rest without guilt. It's in how you stop apologizing for taking up space, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Let me tell you something personal. A woman once told me that in her 50s, she still felt the need to shrink herself in every room she walked into, speak softly, move quickly, never ask for too much. But then, something shifted when she turned 62. One day, while making her morning coffee, she caught her reflection in the kitchen window. And she said, "I suddenly saw a woman who'd raised 3 kids, buried 2 parents, survived cancer, and rebuilt her life from scratch, and I thought, what the hell am I still tiptoeing for?" That was the day she stopped asking for permission. Not because she was angry. Not because she wanted revenge. But because she finally understood her own worth. That's calm confidence. It doesn't show up with fireworks. It doesn't announce itself. It simply arrives, quietly, and stays rooted, even when the winds blow. And one of the most powerful ways to keep the confidence alive is by choosing your circle wisely. We don't talk about this enough after 60, do we? So many people hold on to relationships out of habit or guilt. Friends who subtly belittle us. Family who don't listen. Acquaintances who drain our energy with drama or one-sided conversations. But at this point in your life, your time is sacred. Your energy is gold. You do not owe access to people who make you feel small. You get to ask, who makes me feel seen, not judged? Who encourages my growth instead of dismissing it? Who respects my boundaries, my wisdom, my presence? Those are the voices you want around you. Those are the people who help your confidence bloom, not wither. And if you don't have those people yet, it's never too late. Start by being that person for yourself. Speak to yourself kindly. Sit with yourself in silence. Celebrate your own small wins. The more you love the person in the mirror, the less you rely on others to tell you who you are. Because here's the beautiful truth, calm confidence doesn't mean you never feel insecure. It just means your faith in yourself is louder than your doubt. Even on days when your hands tremble, your voice cracks, or your heart feels uncertain, you keep showing up. You keep standing tall. You keep choosing your own voice over and over again. That's bravery. That's grace. That's power. So, as we wrap up this conversation, I want you to carry one thought with you. You have nothing left to prove, only more of yourself to express. Let go of the idea that confidence means being loud, or always having the right words, or never making mistakes. It doesn't. Confidence is sitting in your truth, calmly, and refusing to shrink, even if the world doesn't clap. It's walking into a room with your head held high, knowing that your presence is enough, even if no one says so. It's speaking with intention. Resting without guilt. loving without losing yourself. And if you're still learning to do those things, that's okay. You're not behind. You're not late. You're exactly where you need to be. Growth doesn't end at 40 or 60 or even 90. Every year you're alive is a new chance to stand in your light a little more fully. So here's what I hope for you. May you speak your truth with softness and strength. May you let go of what no longer serves you. May you take up space, unapologetically, gracefully, and fully. And may you know, deep down, that you've earned every bit of peace and presence you allow into your life. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. You don't have to be young to be seen. You don't have to change who you are to be worthy. You already are. If this message spoke to your heart today, I'd love to hear from you. Share your story in the comments, your experiences, your reflections, your quiet victories. You never know who might need to hear them. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more honest, heart-centered content created with you in mind. Here's to living your boldest, calmest, most confident life, not in spite of your age, but because of it. You deserve nothing less.